probably wait until the fighter jets go by before I do my intro. Hey, what's up guys? I am on the side of a hill in the middle of nowhere in Yorkshire in the United Kingdom at the Ardrock event. It's a big festival race, lots going on. And Bosch has taken us some of their demo bikes like this that I'm on here. They're equipped with not only their brand new lightweight motor, the SX, but also their ABS braking system. So we're going to take it on the demo loop around here for the first time. Let me get a feel for it, see how it performs. So strap in and join me along for the ride, let's go. All right, so we have got two very interesting products here. One of which is brand new to the market, another one which is slowly being kind of accepted by more brands and added to more bikes, but I do think we're still a little bit of a ways off from it being really common. Number one is Bosch's brand new SX lightweight motor. This is a roughly 2 kilogram motor. It's Bosch's first entry into the lightweight e-bike game. 2 kilos, about 55 newton meters of torque, but that might not sound like a particularly incredible offering, but what Bosch is really trying to push is the fact that its peak power output is 600 watts, which is the same as their full power motor. So in theory, as long as you are not pushing a really hard gear, this thing should be delivering the same sort of power, the same sort of propulsion back up the hill as their full power CX motor, which is pretty impressive, and I'm definitely interested to take it around the trails here in Ardrock and see how that stacks up. And the second one is the ABS system. It's fitted into their front brake. There's sensors on both ends of the bike, and what it does is basically it like in your car, it limits that front wheel, the braking forces, from being transmitted when it senses that your front wheel is about to lock up or that your rear wheel is about to lift off of the ground. So in real time, way quicker than you're able to react, theoretically at least, it should be stopping that front wheel from locking and making it so that you've got both tires on the ground, getting the most braking force that you can at all times. So another product I'm very interested to ride. So let's take it onto the trails here and find out how they perform. Let's go. I mean, that is a very steep bit of hill. And in the slightly more spin to win mentality, it's doing a good job. Done a climb. Now it's time to test out this ABS. I'm really intrigued what this is going to be like. How hard dare I brake? Oh God. Oh. That's bizarre. Okay, and brake. Oh, okay. I've come up for one last lap down Ardrock, one of the demo event loops, but I've certainly got a good feeling for the systems, both the ABS and that SX motor, in the couple of laps that I've done so far, and it's been really interesting, really kind of promising, I think, for the future of the ABS tech, and also really promising as a test for that SX motor in the lightweight category. I do think straight away it's going to do pretty well, and we're going to see quite a few manufacturers fitting it to their bikes, to their SL e-bikes. It's safe to say this SX motor, when you're up at cadence, has some go to it. Really has some go to it. Like, very close to full power motor go to it, I would say. Really quite impressive. But you've got to be prepared to give it some of your own input power and at a reasonable cadence, or quite a high cadence, to really unlock it. Let's talk about the ABS first. I think that's, for me at least, the most interesting in that it's so different. Obviously the SX motor is still a really exciting product, but that ABS system is unlike anything that we've had in mountain biking so far, certainly in terms of what's been widely accepted. And yeah, it's been very interesting to test. I started off and oh, I've got ABS on my bike, I'm gonna just ride as if I've got ABS and really like test it and make it like fail me. Let's test out this ABS. I'm gonna go 2-finger braking. Pull as hard as I can, see what happens. Let's go. Okay. Well, it does feel weird, but it's definitely stopping that wheel from locking up. Okay, and brake. Oh, okay. It's definitely an interest in being able to just brake as hard as you want. Definitely takes your mind off of the one part of it. But I just don't know how much I trust it to do. Oh, because you feel it slipping. And I did manage to make it fail me, but part of that was not just the ABS not stopping the wheel from locking. I don't think the wheel actually locked up when I did that, but the ABS can only do so much to keep the front wheel gripping. It's not able to completely bend the rules of physics and keep that front tire planted and gripping on the ground. Like, it's almost like you feel the front wheel locking up in a way and sliding on the grass, and you slow down less to some extent. But as hard as I'm trying, no physical way I can get that rear wheel off the ground when I'm braking hard. Which I guess if I actually try to use the rear brake too. Oh yeah. Well then. Maybe you do still need to pay attention. Wow. Oops. Clearly not completely foolproof. Your front tire doesn't get infinite traction with the ABS. So I think by me switching my brain off a little bit from that front wheel because I had that ABS tech and then really trying to get it to slip, it was inevitable that I was going to crash since I wasn't exactly going slowly. So yeah, I had a big slam, I got out of it okay, and I managed to get back up and then just try and ride the bike as if it didn't have ABS, you know, just try and ride it normally. And that's when it started to really show promising things for me. Not because I typically have many issues with locking up that front wheel, but what the ABS really felt like it was doing is keeping the weight on the rear wheel, keeping that rear wheel planted for me better than my brain and its kind of, yeah, the way that I'm able to react does. So I was able to keep that rear tire planted on the ground, gripping when I was braking, and slow down. I don't think yet, like with my limited experience on the system, I was slowing down faster, but I definitely wasn't slowing down slower. And it just made me have to think less about that one element. What? So I'm gonna try now, rather than riding it like it's got ABS, just gonna try riding it like it's a normal bike. Still try and modulate it with my finger, see how that goes, because yeah, clearly, as we found out earlier, purely relying on the ABS is maybe not the way to go. What it definitely does not do is stop that rear brake from locking. From the rain. Yeah, you can definitely ride the ABS like it's a normal bike. And I think especially for a beginner rider who's not used to modulating a super powerful brake, it's really going to be a good system to have. And I think we're going to see a lot of companies adopting it. For the SX motor, I've not done a huge amount of technical climbing here to really test out that part. I did turn around and pedal back up one of the stages to see how it performed, and it felt good. But I think what they are saying is it's got 55 Newton meters and then 600 watts of peak power. The 55 is not a standout number in the SL category, but that 600 watt peak power really is. So let's see how this motor feels going back up a descent carefully so that don't kill any people in the demo loop. I do have it on the most powerful setting now, and it definitely feels like it doesn't bog down the same way that especially systems like the TQ and that specialized motor can do when it gets particularly steep. It does definitely zip you up the hill pretty nicely. Fairly well controlled too, I'd say. Okay, so two things. Number one, low end torque. If I go in a hard gear, it does not quite give you the kind of go off the line of a full power motor, I guess, as you'd expect, given that that torque figure is 55 Newton meters, not the 85 of the full power. And then the second one is noise, with the wind that's on at the moment. And yeah, I don't imagine with this mic setup you'll really be able to hear it. But the noise is different. The noise is definitely there when you're working that hard. It is a bit of a lower pitch that compared to many out there, which I reckon is a little bit easier on the ears. It definitely makes some noise, but it is, to me anyway, especially considering the power output of it, not too bad at all. Let's just get up to these yellow flags, see if I give it a bit more of a torque focus. Yeah, and it does definitely start dropping out there. But kick it down a few gears, and when the cadence goes back up, it starts feeling considerably more powerful. Like almost full power motor powerful for there, I think. So if you're just relying on low gear, cranking slow cadence, it doesn't perform incredibly well. It doesn't blow you away. But when you're up at a high cadence, I think somebody quoted even maybe 120 RPM is when you get the absolute peak power out of this motor. When you're doing that and you're still giving it a little bit of power from yourself, it does go really, really well. And yeah, a couple of times I was either keeping up with full power motors or climbing up stuff with slightly less problem and at a slightly higher speed than I'd been expected to from an SL motor in the past. So I'm definitely excited to see this motor getting used on more bikes and spend some more time on it to see how it goes. And in terms of battery life, I think we've done about 550, 600 meters of elevation here up steep climbs, and I've still got 2 bars of battery left out of the 5, so 30 to 40% battery, which is pretty good going, I'd say. I've been in like boost mode, full power the whole time, so it has yeah, seems to be standing up. Certainly doesn't seem to be absolutely burning through power like some of the SL motors out there do. Yeah, I think both of these have been really interesting, so do be sure to stay tuned. Watch out for us getting some more time on both of these systems in the future. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss them. Give us a like if you've enjoyed this video, and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think on these systems. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch you out on the trails.